Hey, I think we're live. Are we live? Sean, are you
Uh,
there?
yes, you are.
Oh, wow. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, you didn't even do like a musical intro or splash screen or video or nothing.
Yep.
It's okay. Just blame it on ring rust.
I'm. I, I,
Would you
I've
like
got a
me to
hell of a
MC
lot
this?
more to blame it on, but I'm not going to because you know what? I don't play the blame game.
Would you like me to MC this? Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the Wednesday night strike.
There we go. Thank
There
you.
you go. This is where you continue.
Brought to you by Strike Gunworks, LLC.
Yes.
Don't know what it is? Check it out. Stata.com at the end. Anyways, all right. We've had
What a week.
we've had one hell of a shit week, and it's only Wednesday. Uh, you know, for those not aware, you know, we were going to talk about the whole trans ban thing, but with
Still want to
everything
touch
that
on it.
with everything that's happened today, honestly, I don't know if we have time to talk about it now.
No. We're still going to touch on that because I have a theory, and
All right.
I think you
Uh,
already know it, so you're
I,
probably going to like
I do, and I've already got a theory on it myself. But
it.
again, if anybody from we're going to talk about a couple different topics, and I'm going to tell you about what we're talking about first before we go into any of them. But I am giving everyone who's listening out there, if one of you is a normal regular that has been on my show in the past, if you want a link, just let me know and I will give you a link. Okay?
Never mind that we didn't do a proper intro and
No,
introduce ourselves, but you
no.
know,
But well, we're getting to that. But again, we are live on Rumble and on YouTube. So that being said, welcome to the Wednesday night strike, and I haven't done these in forever. And I'm your host, Night Strike, and then I have with me one of my good friends, Sean Ponery. You've heard him in the past. He's been on the show several times.
over many years. Hello.
Yes, many years. So what we're talking about tonight is, you know, we're going to touch on the trans ban. We're going to touch on the Charlie Kirk assassination and Poland invoking Article 4 of the NATO treaty, I think it is.
Say her name, Mike. Say her name.
Uh what?
Say her name. There, you're missing the other part of the story.
Go
Seven.
for it.
We're also going to talk about the murder of Irina Zarutska.
Yes, her. Yes, the North Carolina subway victim. I hate saying it like that, but again, it's just it, it, we may even delve into the whole topic of, you know, Trump's crackdown on DC that literally coincides with this, because it only proves that cities that are run by Democrats aren't being enforced by law. Anyway, so which topic do you want to get on first? Do you want to just keep on going with that one, or do you want to go through
Oh,
the
it's your
other ones?
barbecue. I'm just bringing the ants.
Oh, is that what that is? All right, all right.
You wanted me to play the part of porcupine, so I mean,
All right. Okay, you know what? Well, why don't we talk about her first? You know, I
sure.
I saw the video. I was seriously pissed off about seeing that dude do what he did. She didn't deserve it. Yes, she was a little bit absent-minded, you know, playing on her phone like that. But at the same time, what the
It
I,
came from behind.
it came from behind. She didn't see it coming.
For those of you who are in the know, if you were to go look at Colion Noir's video less than 45 minutes ago, the thumbnail shot of the moment before the murder, the look on her face, let that burn into your memory. That look, like that, nobody should ever look like that. And the fact that some idiot tried to start a GoFundMe for the murderer as if he was the victim is just insane. It raised a whopping $5 before public outcry forced GoFundMe to tell that fundraiser to go fuck itself. We're going to shut that shit down immediately.
The
Then
murderer
the,
of
then the
which
president got
has
involved.
has been caught by police and law enforcement
14
14
times.
separate times, and the judge has let him go every single time. Why is
I don't think it's the same judge.
I I beg to differ.
I don't think it's the same judge. It's
Well,
14 convictions. The guy's got a rap sheet that looks like a roll of toilet paper. At this point,
yeah,
the reasonable and prudent thing to do, because now this is a federal hate crime, right? Because the president has gotten Cash Patel involved, he's got the DOJ involved. The appropriate response is you have 14 priors. We have you on film. You have no defense to this. We are going to push you through a wood chipper on the slowest feed on world TV live so people can finally realize you will not get away with this. Now,
well,
I've been posting on social media my opinion of this and Charlie
mhm.
Kirk and the trans gun ban thing. And I can promise you, nobody has the balls to speak out, either to agree or disagree. Because everybody knows what they want to have happen, but nobody, especially politically speaking on our side of the aisle, have the fucking balls to actually say what we're all thinking. And I'm not talking about starting a war or anything
No.
because it's already started. They declared it. They did these
Well,
things. They are the ones who support these things. Tomorrow morning, Whoopi Goldberg is going to go on her fucking View and she's going to remind you that she can't retire. Because this was a story this morning. She cannot quit doing what she does to a bunch of sexless, jobless hags on The View that watch her bullshit because she, quote, made bad marriage decisions. No, honey, you didn't make bad marriage decisions. You made bad personal decisions. You are a fucking moron.
okay.
And now you are spewing your moronic bullshit to the public. And tomorrow, I swear to God, if she says a single thing negative about Charlie Kirk, it would be wise to finally shut the View down once and for all. Get
Right.
it off the fucking TV.
Right. Now, oh my god. Anyways, on this whole thing, uh this guy that went and did this to this woman in North Carolina,
Yeah.
I'd really like the judges, if it's not the same judge that let him go 14 different times, if it's different judges, I want every single one of those judges either indicted or I want them investigated for negligence.
Well, Scott says that the judge that kept releasing this guy, I still don't think it's the same judge every time. Like this guy's not stupid enough to do the same crimes in the same county or city or province or whatever and facing the same judge. Because even in a county, there's multiple judges. But let's just play on the idea that that's possible. If it's the same guy over and over and over, you have to remember a judge does not have to be a lawyer. It doesn't have to be. The judge's interpretation of the law is simply to make sure that the two people, the prosecutor and the defense attorney, is following like decorum of the rules of practicing law. That's all he has to do.
Well, they have to
So he
make
doesn't have to be a lawyer himself. He just has to be intimately knowledgeable that you're not breaking the rules of presenting a case. And he has to be the referee. He is Judge Mills Lane, literally. Okay?
right.
You don't have to be a lawyer because people in my own local circles keep telling me that I need to get rid of Dora the Explorer in the county right next to the one I live in because they were like, you should be the county judge. And I'm like, you don't want me to be that guy. You just don't. because I'm not that guy. I don't make civic decisions. I would want to be that guy in Texas that makes all those creative punishments for the people who deserve it. You
Yeah,
don't
but
want me to be that guy.
yeah, but you can also make a sound decision at the letter of the law instead of by feelings and by feelings
Correct.
and emotions.
Correct. But the problem is my educational background is in psychology and sociology, not criminal law. I did take criminal justice as a minor, but it's only to help me make a better decision about how I feel about certain things that I see, that come up. Like this,
Right.
for instance. Hey, look, the ATF scoop is finally arrived in the chat. I see him down there.
You see him?
Yeah, he's there.
Uh, I gotta turn the stats on. I don't even
That
have the
get,
stats on.
get a
Oh my
rip the
god.
wrench out of his hand.
Oh my god. I don't even
Okay,
have the
so
on.
Scott
Keep
says,
going.
how
Keep
is the
going.
judge supposed to know if they're following law if they don't know the law? They do know the law. Don't get me wrong, Scott. The thing is, when you practice law, it's not a blanket thing. Okay, there are trial lawyers, there are criminal lawyers, there are sociology people, there are business lawyers, there are tax lawyers. Okay, a judge has to basically be the master of the generalizations of the rules of law. Okay, he doesn't have to be specific into one thing because he may be traffic cop lawyer one day and he might be murder cop the next day or murder lawyer or judge the next day. So he has to be sort of like a master of all things.
Yeah.
He can't be a specialist. He has to be all encompassing. And as long as he knows the rules of law as it's done, as long as he knows the rules of objections and keeps everything in order, he's the referee. And then all he has to do is make sure that nobody like exceeds the boundaries of that decorum, so a jury of your peers can make an informed decision and ruling. And yeah, you're right. Like there are county judges are elected.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I could run for county judge. I can get rid of Dora the Explorer in Harris County, and I could lie like Houston Democrats and say, "Yeah, I live in that county, even though I live in the farm county right next to it." Eh, I mean, who's really paying attention?
So, all right. Again, I don't want to give the guy's name out because I don't want to give that asshole any.
The stabber?
Yeah, I don't want to give him any fame.
No, it doesn't enhance or enrich the story in any way whatsoever. The insulting part of this whole situation is the fact that some idiot thought he's the victim. We should raise funds for his defense, and $5 is where it stopped before GoFundMe even stopped and went. Nope, nah, no, you're going into a wood chipper.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Ugh.
number
Anyways,
15 conviction, wood chipper.
yeah. All right. Let's talk about the elephant in the room then. Uh, uh
Mr.
for the
Knives.
for those that don't know, prominent Christian and uh conservative public speaker Charlie Kirk was assassinated this afternoon uh by what I can only assume, and I'm only going
Ah,
to assume,
we don't know.
a
Don't say
crazy
that. We
person.
don't know. Yes.
No, I am justified in calling them a crazy person because
No, I agree with you on that. I don't want to
anyone
blame any particular party yet because we don't know.
we're not going to. We're not going to. But anyone who would take another's life for any reason whatsoever is crazy. Period. You can argue with me on that all you want, but that's how I feel.
So the latest press conference that came out of Orem, Utah, is that the governor of Utah and Kash Patel, the FBI director, have
Mhm.
both said the same thing, and that's good. Consistency is good when it comes to people demanding answers for something that has happened. They have a person of interest in custody and they are interrogating him. Now, the descriptors of the person that they have in custody were a bit vague, but they used surveillance video to find a person that was in very, let's say, dark colored clothing that was in the range of the shot. And when they captured this person, they were wearing that. So it looks like a duck and it's dressed like a duck. We're not saying he's the guy, but they are saying that they have caught this person of interest, which is positive. It's a bit of an insult at the fact that they never caught the guy as it happened. But then again, if it's true and he was 200 yards away on a roof of a building, there's not like a group of people that are going to be standing by to kick the shit out of this guy. So, okay, fine. But they have someone in custody and he's being interrogated. He matches a description of a person of interest who was caught on surveillance. He was dressed like a duck because he looks like a duck. So I assume the interrogation involved brass knuckles
I hope so.
and steel toe boots. Because if this guy is the guilty one, then there's your due process is the boot didn't hit you in the forehead before it hit you in the abdomen.
Right.
Okay. This was not this was a calculated, premeditated assassination. But I'm still reserving judgment because I don't know
We're
who this
not going to
person is
single
or
out
what his affiliation.
out a group, though we have an idea of what side of the political spectrum they align to.
Correct. And I heard something very interesting right before we got on air,
Okay,
and
go ahead.
I wanted to point this out because right now one side politically is going to try to point fingers at the other side. It's the classic uh, response, right? We don't know who this guy or woman or whatever it is, attack helicopter. We don't know who this thing is yet, so we can't make these assumptions. But what I did hear, strangely enough, from Kennedy, of all people, okay, who's actually become quite a political juggernaut in her own right, she said something that really resonated with me, and I agree. Right now, what the nation needs is the leaders of one side politically and the leaders of the other side politically to come together on live TV, condemn this situation together. So neither side is pointing fingers at each other. Because you have to remember, what made Charlie Kirk special was when he started joining Turning Point, he was a teenager. And what he tried to do was buck the trend that young people only vote Democrat.
He was
Because
in
when
his
he,
early 20s. I looked it up.
right, but I saw him do an interview when he was 18.
Mm.
Okay, so he had an interest in this before that.
Right. Okay.
And
All
what I'm driving at
right.
is this guy is trying to tell people in his age group, because I'm not that age group anymore. Mike, you're not that age group anymore. We're not the youth of the nation anymore. And it hurts to recognize that and admit that, but then you have to feel some sense of pride that somebody who is aligns with how you feel and think and
Oh,
believe.
I know I'm not
So
the
what
youth
he
of the
did
nation.
is he went out there and he told the youth of his own generation, he said, look, stop falling for the candy in the van and think for yourself. Just because these people are promising you this free stuff all the time, you need to ask them who's paying for it. And he was smart enough to say, I'm not just going to go blindly vote for the free stuff. I'm going to make you question where that's coming from, who's paying for it, and who's going to be stuck with the bill a generation from now. Because it's his generation, so he's stuck with it.
And
He
remember,
created a movement.
he was also the person that didn't yell, didn't get angry, didn't get irate when he would have a conversation with someone who had opposing
Differing view.
views. He would
But you know
always
what he was
talk to
good
them.
at?
He was talking to them calmly, collectively, and he would always use facts to debase what they were trying to convince everybody of.
He was very good at doing the exact same thing that Ben Shapiro does. He asks you a question and he baits you to make a fool of yourself. For instance, he would ask about human rights, and then he would ask about, say, a pregnant woman trying to decide to have an abortion. Now, I'm going to touch on this very lightly because, oddly enough, this whole pro life, pro choice thing, I'm not going to touch that. But what he did was brilliant. He had a woman up there and he basically asked her, he goes, "So is this problem a human rights issue?" And she said, "Yes, it is. It's a human rights issue." And he goes, "Cool. Then you and I are in agreement." And she says, "I guess so." And then he says, "So if a human being is growing in your body, then that would basically mean that this you are saying that person has human rights." And all of a sudden her brain froze and she goes, "That's not a human yet." He goes, "No, no, no, you just said it was." He was really good at making opposing people look stupid because he would corner you with logic. And that's what he was brilliant at. And that is what our side, I'm not saying which side it is, I'm just saying that is what our
Mhm.
side collectively, that is how we win. Okay. What happened today, some people could argue that war was declared on conservatism, and the only response to that is if they declared war, we should give it to them, and we should give it to them so strong and so severe and so decisive that nobody from the opposing side ever dares fuck around and find out ever again. Now, you can take that route, but that comes off a bit too extreme. No, the best way to do this is continue exercising your First Amendment rights, continue using logic, and continue using that logic to make the other side look like fucking morons. Because you catch them in a trap and they admit that they're fucking retarded on their own. And then the rest of the people who are watching can just go, "Wow, what an idiot." And then you won them over. It's as simple
Mhm.
as that. It's just that simple. We don't have to go with the pitchforks and torches. We don't have to do that. We
Well,
want to do that. We should do that out of anger as a response to what happened today. But that's not going to solve this problem.
no, but
What's
I
going to solve this is we're going to keep doing what we do louder and more precise and efficiently.
right.
And then we'll
And
let the rest of the world decide if who's right in this.
and for those of you that are watching out there and listening and commenting, uh, another issue with this whole thing is, uh, I hate to say it now, but because of his of this of this attack on him, it's literally sparked a, I guess, a cultural civil war.
Yes, but I mean the thing is you can okay. So the whole idea, we've done this with Never Enough Ammo. We've done this with Yankee Marshall. We've done this with gun websites. We've done this with many people. Okay,
Right.
we have always played this what if game
But
of
this is our
of what
Archduke
if there was a civil
Ferdinand
war,
moment.
right? But we've played this political hot potato of
Right.
what if there was a civil war. Okay, let's just make this really clear cut and simple.
Right.
If it were to happen, it would fall apart faster than anything in history. Because the problem is the pros and the antis of anything in a civil conflict are way too integrated with each other, which means there's no north and south in this one. There are pros and cons everywhere, which means it's
Mhm.
street to street, house to house, urban whatever, right?
Right.
Urban conflict. I'm not going to say war, urban conflict.
Right.
That's why this quote modern day civil war thing, it's never going to take root ever,
No.
because the pro and opposing views are way, way, way too integrated, and it's way too well distributed to be able to organize it. Now
Right.
you see these like Antifa things and like Black Lives Matter and whatever group you want to pick, those get organized through social media or whatever, but those which you can call pocket resistance, right? We're talking about if you want to talk about civil war, we're talking about the continental 48 United States. Okay, hundreds of millions of square miles. That's never ever going to take root. Not in the way that people think. It's not going to be 1862 ever again. Never. It's too big and it's too disorganized. And nobody, quote me on this, nobody is ever going to stop and look at, like, say, me and go, I'm going to follow Connery into battle. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do that. They might agree with what I have to say, but they're in Minnesota and they're in New York and they're in Montana, right? I'm not going to get those groups together to make any sizable front. Okay, that's not going to happen. So the only way we win this is through logic, reasoning, and the continuation of exercising your First Amendment rights without being violent. However, if violence comes to you, you better be damn well to prepare yourself to defend yourself because you have a Second Amendment that protects you to do that. It
Right.
doesn't it doesn't mean just tyrannical government. It also means armies of libtards and assholes coming at you. Carry
No.
every day.
No.
If someone wants to run their mouth and point a gun at me, I got one to point back.
Exactly. And all I'm gonna say is this: if 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 this is it, honestly, if they're gonna if they did this, I honestly see them or people associated with said person, okay, doing
Yep.
more of this in the future. Unfortunately, and I don't like to say that. I don't like it, but I can see more of it happening. But at the same time, I'm going to tell each and every one of you out there, if you don't have a gun, uh, now might be a good time to get one to
Get
protect
the
yourself.
one get the one that you can comfortably keep on you at all times, except when you're asleep, obviously. But I
Right.
mean, get the one that you can keep on you. I'm sitting here doing this with a Glock 43X on my hip. Now, I'm an outside the waistband guy, but that's the one gun I carry every day that's inside the waistband.
I mean,
It took a while to get used to. It's a bit different. It sort of messed up my seat cover on my truck, but whatever. But it beats the alternative.
I
It's
don't
the
have a
insurance
gun on me
policy.
right now. I've got one on the desk in front of me. I've got the PSA
I,
Rock.
I got the one on me and like 50 around.
If
But the
I've got
point
I've got a
is
couple around, including the foul. So
the whole point of this is though is don't be the victim.
no.
What if sorry, I gotta take a second. What if Irina Zarutska was sitting on, was it a subway?
It looked like it was
They have
either
subways.
subway
It's
or
either a
bus.
subway or a bus. I don't want to claim to know.
I
Okay,
don't
I
know.
know she was in a seat. I know there was an asshole behind her who took her
Mhm.
life for no good reason. Okay, so that's the facts. Okay, if that woman had even something as simple as a Ruger LC9, okay, something small that fits in a clutch or in a purse, in a pocket, in a freaking what are those hybrid holsters that fit in your pocket that stay really tight to your pocket? They're made out of some sort of animal skin. Anyway, point is, if she had one of those and she looked up and that view, like I encourage you, okay, whether or not you agree with the guy, go to Coleon Noir's YouTube channel. Look at the video he posted within the last hour. Look at the thumbnail of it. You don't have to watch the video. Look at the thumbnail, okay? That moment, that look on her face is the moment you stick your hand into your pocket and grab what you have to use to protect yourself. And you may not survive what's about to happen, but you didn't go down without a fight. Okay. If she had done that, this may be a different situation. The thing with Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, that's that is cowardice in the distance. There is nothing that could stop that. Nothing. Because that
Uh,
guy snuck in there like a serpent and he was waiting for his moment. He took the shot. And the reason I know I'm right is because we don't have confirmation that the person that's a person of interest is the shooter. We don't know that.
We
Okay.
don't know that. No.
If this guy was in the crowd and pulled a pistol out and took a shot at him, everybody around that shooter would have kicked the shit out of him. Not because they're trying to stop the shooting of Charlie Kirk, but they were trying to stop him from shooting them around him. They would have kicked 9 levels of hell into that guy's rib cage.
Right.
They
And
didn't do that.
it's the problem is Kash Patel and the governor of Utah have stated that they have a suspect in custody. We don't know if that's the actual suspect that did it or if it's just someone that looks suspicious.
That matched a look that was caught on video. Right.
And the other problem is we don't have we don't know yet if they have the rifle that did it.
Well, okay, so here's the other thing, okay? Right now, there is one political side of this. Okay, now I'm not okay? I'm not insulting the intelligence of those that are watching this.
No, we're not.
But
We're going off what we know.
somebody right now from our side of this politically is going to want to point the finger at the other side. Not just because it's convenient, but because that's typically what the MO is. However, if you look at where he was
This right there.
and how that state leans politically,
Mhm.
you can't help but sort of agree with those people.
Right.
Okay? Utah's a red state. Utah has a red governor. So if the red side wants to blame the blue side, they've got a lot of ammo in their magazine right now to make it sort of justified. However, please exercise caution until we know. Okay?
Yes,
You can
G
be
Webs, it's
mad.
clonery.
You can be mad. It's perfectly okay. You can be mad about this. But until we know who this person is, what their motivations are, we have to sort of hold back just a little bit. We can't point political fingers at this yet. Not yet. It looks bad, but we still don't know. Let's wait for that.
Absolutely. And yes, it's ponery.
It is me. The only reason we're insulting our own intelligence is because a lot of us feel like we know what this is, and we know what the MO is, and we know what the proper response to this is, but we still have to exercise a little bit of caution, just a little bit, because we don't want to be the fringe either. We want to be
No.
sure that when we go after this, that we're absolutely on the right side of this, that it's ironclad, airtight.
Absolutely. All right.
I know, Scott. I know, Scott. You're right. What you're saying is correct. However, currently, it is still in the safety of red hands. So far.
I don't even want. I didn't even know that guy was still doing YouTube videos.
Who?
Nothing fancy.
Yeah, he does. Few and far between, but yes, he still does.
Hmm.
Hi, G-Webs. I saw your comment. Sorry, I didn't address it right away. Yeah, I see you. Hi.
So, have we beaten this one to a dead horse, or do we want to keep going?
I mean, it's a really hot button topic, but until we know more facts, I don't want to stir the speculation pot anymore. I'm
Neither do
mad.
I.
I'm mad. I'm hopping mad.
I'm
But
saddened and mad at the same time.
we're gonna wait till we have a
I mean,
confirmation of who this person is and who they are. We got them. I want to hear we got them.
I mean, because the problem is some people that saw this happen, live, are saying that this is attack on Christian conservatives. Some are just saying it's an attack on conservatives that speak out politically or publicly. And there's justifications for both angles. I give you that, but again, that's not what this was. This seemed to be something more than just, oh, I'm going after him because of this or that. Only someone who would truly dislike or hate him would do this.
I was sitting down with my dad. He's he's going to be 90 in 2 months. Okay, and so I'm sitting down with him,
Hmm.
and I showed him all of this today. I put it on the news, and I said, "What do you think about this?" And he goes, "When did the world become so dark?" And I told him, I'm like, "Well, you've been retired for close to 30 years now. It's been getting this way for a while." And he's like, "What do we do about this?" And basically, what I told him is the thing we have to do is we have to continue doing the kind of work that a man like Charlie Kirk has done. Because I'm going to admit to something here, and I don't like this because it makes me incredibly uncomfortable because it's an admission of failure. Okay, I, Ponery, am 46 years old. Okay, 46. Charlie Kirk has died today at the age of 31. He had a
11
beautiful
years
wife.
younger than me.
He had a beautiful wife and 2 children. Okay. I have seen the work he has done in highlight reels and recaps. And there's a little voice in my head that looks at this and goes, "Man, that kid has done more than I have. What am I doing wrong?"
Right.
And you know what the first answer that came to my head was? I outlived him. And I hate to say that because I feel like a villain for even thinking it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to continue doing what he does. What this person who killed him tried to tell America today was sit down and shut up, or one of our retards are going to kill you. Do not exercise your First Amendment right because we will silence you. Thankfully, we have a Second Amendment that tells those people to sit the fuck down because you're not going to get a free shot. That's the most important lesson today is somebody tried to silence somebody else's First Amendment rights by abusing their Second Amendment rights. But the thing is what would have protected the rest of us is our Second Amendment rights to stop the lunatic who abused theirs. And when listen, I'm not saying whatever they had was legal or purchased legally or none of that. I don't care. Okay? It's all about intent.
Hmm.
And the one thing that society needs to understand when they try to stop and regulate our rights is you can never, ever preempt intent. Ever. You just don't know when that person who is probably normal for their whole lives decided that they don't want to be normal anymore. Okay? You can't stop the rest of us from exercising our right to be vigilant and protect ourselves just because some idiot decided to abuse theirs. No, no.
I mean,
This
if
that's why the Second
eh,
Amendment has always been the civil rights movement of our generation
exactly,
because they're trying to tell us that
we
you
don't need
can't
it.
have that because it's for the better of mankind. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. When
I
you
mean,
tell me I can't protect myself, you're making me weaker.
I mean, I well, here you remember my stance on this. It's like, listen, don't tell me that we need gun control when you're so insincere that you have to have an armed security unit guarding you whenever you go out to speak uh, for public disarmament.
Well, okay, so that the one thing I like these days that I've been hearing a lot is that's becoming less and less shouted at. See, the thing is they gun control can't make me safer. By making me disarmed does not make me safer. Because the one thing that I can always counter any anti-gun argument with
Hmm.
is your personal protection at the end of the day between you and your creator is your own personal responsibility. And nobody is going to tell you that you can't be personally responsible. They can't. Because if you told me that I can't protect myself against the next guy, then you're the oppressor. But if you tell me that I can at least stand on equal footing with my attacker, I have a fighting chance. You cannot ever ration that out. You cannot rationalize that. You cannot tell somebody that making you weaker makes you safer. Because I will always. I have a half brother. I have discovered that I have an entire family from my dad's first marriage that I'm starting to connect with. Okay, and one of them is about to move to England. And I told him, I said, look, I know the reasons why you're going, and I think they're okay, but you have to understand that where you're about to go, you are about to become a lot weaker because that country over there, they said guns were bad. They took the guns away, and then everyone started using knives. They took the knives away, and they started using rented vans. You cannot preempt evil ever. But what you can do is you can make you stronger to respond to evil by not letting someone strip it away from
Yeah, we
you
got
ever.
a super chat out there from gun websites.
Yes, he did.
Thanks,
Solid.
thank you, G. Uh, he says guntube.org is still online. Them other long gone.
That is true. You have outlived a lot of other streaming services.
I mean, and for the record, I will say that GunTube is kind of in
Limbo.
limbo right now, but that's only because I'm funding it on a beer budget. So, but again, it's still GunTube is still going, and I thank everyone for your support.
Help Night Strike reach a Ritchie Brothers auction budget so I can help him buy a diesel truck.
I do need a truck. That is exactly
A
what I
thing.
need right now.
Yes.
Anyways, but you know, I
I'll
would put it
agree
I
that
would post it on the screen here, G. But the problem is, Rumble doesn't let you do YouTube donations. It only lets you do the ones that are done through Rumble. So
put your Discord link in the chat, and then that way they can go there and you could share your donations links.
actually, if you check the description of this video, all of
Oh, you
those
already
links
did it.
all of those links are down there.
Okay. You
All
already did the curve.
donation links to Night Strike to the Discord and everything. It's all down there.
All
No,
right. So
no,
I,
the
I
Forgotten
think
Weapons guy is not on GunTube.
I agree. We probably kicked that subject to death. Let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about banning trans people from getting guns because you know I have a very unique take on this.
Well, I don't know. It might be the same take I've got.
I think I'm right in this one. Let,
I
let's okay.
Okay.
Let's sort of reveal this to everybody, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. So what everybody doesn't know is because of some of the last couple uh mass shooting incidents perpetrated by trans individuals. The president and the DOJ have stated that they are looking into a possible ban on trans individuals. And my thinking on this is that they're doing it to troll and literally the gotcha moment for the Democrats because
Oh, you didn't say this earlier today. This was my stance.
I know, but I
Did
said
I
I
get
was
you to come
thinking the
around?
same thing.
Okay. I agree with you. Okay.
Okay. So it's a gotcha. It's like either they have to die on the hill of gun control and say, yes, we have to get rid of it, or they have to say, no, we have to take the gun
Wait.
owners
Let me
side.
elaborate on this one. I had a lot of practice today. What we have right now is we have a president who has a reputation of people who support him that sometimes justify the decisions he makes, as, quote, playing 4D chess, right? We've heard that phrase before. It's a catchphrase, it's a byline. Not all of you buy into it. I don't fully buy into it. Okay. I'm a skeptic. I'm a guy who wants to take things ad hoc, per case basis. Okay. But when I read this story and when Mike here brought it up to me today, okay, I didn't know I was doing this tonight. Okay, my mother just went in for major back surgery. She is in ICU right now. My dad is 90 years old with dementia in my living room, eating
And
chili and being happy.
and my
Okay,
dad had a root canal today, so
I didn't know this was going to happen today. But when he brought this up to me, I made sure that I had something to share with all of you. And what I came up with is I believe, I want to believe, I don't truly believe all of it, but I want to believe this and I want you all to consider this. If the theory that our president is playing 4D chess, can you imagine this idea that he's forcing his opponents in the Democratic Party to choose how stupid they want to look?
hmm
because because the choices they have right now is they have to defend 1% of the population in the trans community,
yeah.
or they have to defend gun rights to help the trans community. This is beautiful. He was like, look, I'm going to say this. I know I'm not going to win this. I know I don't have a chance in hell with the Supreme Court to get them to ban gun sales to trans people because I have to force the medical industry to make transsexual choices a mental disorder. He knows he cannot get that. He can't get the attorney general to agree to this. He cannot get the FDA to agree to this. He knows this. So all he's doing is he's trying to make Democrats who are desperately trying to find a moral compass right now because they have a socialist retard in New York running for mayor and nothing else. He's trying to force them to look even dumber by saying, we support the 1% of trans people because then he loses 99% of everyone else.
hmm
Or, or he's going to make them admit that gun rights are more important, which is what we have been saying forever. And it's going to make them look like they betrayed the party mantra.
Well,
This is brilliant on a level that most people just can't fathom. This is great.
yeah,
They're going to look retarded no matter what choice they make.
exactly. And our friend Scott says, I think our president is just a giant troll and wants to screw with Democrats any way he can. And and
Correct.
and yeah, because they promised they'd work with him last time, and then they spent the entire 4 years working against him. And
Because they will say whatever they have to say to get their face on camera and to
yes,
get elected. But they have painted themselves in such a corner. Think about this. The squad means nothing these days.
yeah,
Zoran Mamdani, a socialist prick in New York at 33, is trying to run for mayor of one of the most powerful cities in the country, and he's already spelled out his socialist policies, hoping that the ignorant youth will agree to it.
I
And then
know.
they killed Charlie Kirk today, who was trying to tell the youth of half a generation before him, think for yourself and ask who's paying for all this shit. Think about that. Think about that. The guy running for mayor of New York is half a generation. He's trying to prey on half a generation above the man who was politically assassinated today, who tried to get his generation just to think. He didn't twist your arm. He just
No.
said, if someone says they're giving you free shit, ask the question, who's paying for it?
And G just went above and beyond, and he on the Rumble side, G gave us $25 saying, "Thank you for keeping GunTube.org online all these years. You're welcome. Thank you for your support."
Because he's still, no matter what you think about the man, he's still a straight G. I
No, he's always been a straight G.
just went gangster, dude. He's a straight G.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, I'm talking about our good friend Gun Websites. Gee, if you want to jump in, you are more than welcome to.
I look. I'm still waiting for the super chat conglomerate. Freaking, let's all get together and talk about when we are all going to get back together at Wanamaker. Okay?
Yep.
Because most of y'all who met me years ago, like you were like, first of all, the first thing that you came out of your mouths was, Jesus Christ, I didn't know an Asian can be that big. And then the second thing is I didn't know an Asian that big can fit in a car that small. I, I don't. I got bigger, and I don't have that car anymore, so I can make that trip.
Well, you said I really was fat, so I had to respond with something.
Somebody's going to send a pizza to your hotel room at 3 in the morning again.
No, they are not. No,
Ah,
they're not.
no. Look, what G just said is exactly what I've been trying to convince you and Tony we need to do. We did an April Wanamaker show last time. I want to do a November one, and he wants to do a November one, and you need to do a November one. You guys, look, make Mike a Super Duty great again.
I wish.
Or like, actually, no. Let me take that back because I have been in the background. Okay. No, I still have the Thunderbird. It's just I have a diesel truck now. I've been trying to convert Mike away from Super Duties because there's way too many electronics and sensors, and I'm trying to bring him to the Church of Cummins.
You got a question out there? No more Thunderbird?
No, I told him. I still have it. It's in my driveway right now. But it's not what I'm going to drive to Oklahoma. I have a
Right.
Ram with a diesel with an 8 speed, and it's been very good to me. So if you see me this November in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, I will be sitting behind a giant plate of bacon at Hugo's because I will actually get off my ass and make it there on time. Sorry, G, I know I got there 4 hours late, but I had 80 pounds of ice on the front of a Fiat. It was hard to chip all that off. But yeah, you will see me in my element, in boots and a hat, with my anaconda in a truck, as God intended. And I'm trying to get Mike to do the same thing because everybody should have a diesel.
Yeah.
Ram's always running.
All right. You know what? Let's move on to the last topic real quick.
Okay.
We're just gonna gloss over it. For those that don't know, in the the never ending, you Russian special military operation,
Okay.
the Russians have decided that they want to fly over Polish airspace without permission with drones and aircraft. And Poland has taken offense to that and invoked Article 4 of the NATO treaty. I think it's a treaty, right?
Do you know when this flyover happened? Was it today or recent?
It's like earlier today.
Okay.
This is it happened today, and the meeting is this Article 4 is to schedule a meeting a meeting for an appropriate response.
Right. Okay. So, just as a brief history lesson, this is not the first time this has happened. Russia has encroached in other sovereign territories' airspace for the last 3 years during this conflict. And they have had aerial missiles actually hit Polish territory.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, now once upon a time I used to do a series called The War Room, and at the beginning of this we tried to cover every day, every story. Okay, it got a bit daunting, so we went to once a week. But then the stories got harder and harder to get confirmation, which is why I haven't done them as often. However, the attacks where missiles landed in Poland, there were casualties, Polish casualties. Okay, the moment an aggressor's armaments cross your airspace and kill your civilian population or your military population, Article 5 should have been instantaneous. Okay? That was an act of war.
Mm-hmm.
However, because of the way geopolitically most people have lost their fucking balls, that's the nicest way to say it. I'm sorry. You've lost your fucking balls,
I,
okay?
I would I would say out of all the countries in Europe, Poland is like the most the European equivalent of Texas.
They have right. Okay. So they have been victimized and they're chomping at the bit to prove, hey, we've been collecting armament from all of our NATO bros. We have everything. It's time for us to use it because we're not about to repeat 1938. Okay? That's what
Or
they're doing. But
1938
because
or
they're part of
1945.
NATO, because they're part of NATO, and because most of NATO has lacked testicles, they said, well, just chill, bro. It's only been a couple of guys that got killed. Okay, calm down. Okay, calm down,
Right.
and let's reason with the aggressor, and let's continue to criticize the country that has been defending itself for 3 years. Think about that for a split second. World opinion has turned to a point where they criticize the people who have defended an invasion for 3 years. And they continue to negotiate with an asshole who still jerks off to a Cold War map from 1963. Okay? Fundamentally, there's your problem right there. Thankfully, that idiot keeps fucking up, and now he's attacked Poland. Not deliberately, or maybe deliberately. And now Poland is still being influenced by NATO saying, "Ooh, hold up, bro, err on the side of caution." They want to invoke Article 4
They really
to
want to
raise
invoke Article 5.
that should have been without question. It's like, look, there are the craters, here are the bodies. We have been attacked. Okay? But because they are stuck in a boys' club of people who keep saying, err on the side of caution, they know that they can't win, go straight to Article 5. So, like you said, they're going to Article 4. And they're going to point this out. And they're going to keep showing them. They're not going to stop poking us back.
Nope.
This is not going to end until Putin. Now, I hate to say this because this is me eating crow. If any of you ever watched my war rooms, once upon a time, before any of this Ukrainian invasion happened, I used to criticize our leaders and said Vladimir Putin was what a leader looks like because he had his shit under control, right? But unfortunately, he has he's screwed the pooch. You can't. He's not what a leader looks like. He's what a person who's too stupid to realize that he's in conflict that he cannot win looks like. And because people historically look at Russia as the atomic war bear, they keep holding that going, we don't want to provoke that. I'm sorry, he's the provocateur, not you. It's time to hold him to
Absolutely.
account. He's in his 70s now. He
He
might be
is.
wearing he might be wearing diapers now. Stop being afraid of him. But I hope
Well,
something comes of this. I
well,
hope Poland finally rights the ship of
yeah.
geopolitics when it comes to NATO. Because if they don't, then all NATO is doing is illustrating to the world that they have outlived their usefulness because they don't have the fortitude to even carry out the policies that they have created themselves.
It's true. And I think that's where we're going to stop. I mean, if anybody else wants to jump in, I did send a couple links out. So, if if you want to go longer, we can go longer. If some of those people jump in, but if not, we'll
Full
axe it.
disclosure for those of you watching, you know I haven't done these podcasts in a while. I was invited to kick open Pandora's box. I warned Mike that I
He
was going to
was.
be very, very aggressive in my opinions tonight, only because I, like most of you, are probably sick and tired of hearing this. We're sick and
Exactly.
tired of seeing this. And it's like, we already know what the solution is. Now we just need to tell whoever's in charge to think like we do. They got to go. Like these people, they need to be made an example of to the point
No
that
idea, DJ.
no one else dares try to do this. Whether it's stab someone on a subway or a bus, whether it's take a shot at somebody
At a public speaking event.
at a university at a public speaking event, if it's sending drones into somebody else's airspace. We need to send a message. The correct, I'm not going to say the right or wrong or left or whatever. We need to send a message as the justified side of this situation, whatever situation it is. We have to send a message that we're not going to tolerate this no more. And this is what you get if you keep fucking with us. Because that is what's been missing from our side. We keep
It has.
letting them embolden themselves and push harder and do more radical things because we don't do something back at them. Somebody needs to shock and all these people and go, I ain't messing with that. Those people are crazy. When it's we're not crazy. We're just saying if you're gonna come meet us with this aggression, we're gonna crush you with 1,000 times more aggression that your grandkids will fear. You do that one time. It's all about setting boundaries. You do that one time, and it puts this to bed once and for all. The thing we have to deal with right now is here in America, the people who are doing these things to people like Charlie Kirk, the people who are doing these things like stabbing innocent people on trains, this is America's version of Hamas. Whether you want to agree with it or like it or not, that is what it is. It is domestic terrorism, it is a fringe group, and it needs to be crushed emphatically. It needs to be destroyed so badly that people will be terrified to even think of trying to do it again. You do that, you solve this problem because then you can relax because no one's going to be stupid enough to poke the bear ever again.
I mean, I like Never Enough Ammo's take on this.
Go ahead.
Make wood chippers great again.
That was my thing.
He's been saying it too now.
That just means I have a kindred spirit now. I've enrolled him. And let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If there is nobody in this country that's got the balls to do it, I'll put it on record right now. I will happily step forward and volunteer. If you don't know the name John C. Woods, go look it up. I am him. I am your John C. Woods. If you need somebody who's got the balls to do what needs to be done, I am your John C. Woods. Go look him up. It's a really fun read, and it's the guy we need. It's the hero America needs right now.
But not the
And I'll
one we
do it.
deserve.
No, we deserve it. I will volunteer. I will happily volunteer because he did things with hangman's ropes that defy gravity. I will do things with wood chippers that will defy logic.
I like DJ's quote.
Yeah. You can't control the meaning of words. You can control the people who just use them. That's true. That's true. And it will this okay, plain ice's quote, that will become painfully apparent if you want to waste your time and watch the views tomorrow. Go watch Whoopi Goldberg rile up the sexless, jobless, multi-cat households of bitter, angry women tomorrow. You'll
No,
see
thank
that.
you. No,
You'll
thank
see.
you.
No, maybe you need to see it. You know, it's the horror show where you peek through your fingers.
I,
Go look at what that angry, bitter cow has
I
to
mean,
say.
if I'm gonna be an old person and watch TV like that, I'd rather watch The Price is Right.
No, it's not what it used to be.
Well,
Jim Carrey had a noble effort, but
you know.
some things are better off. Remember them as they were.
All right, I'd rather watch. Let's make a deal.
I'd rather watch Zip Ties and Bias Flies criticize the Canadian government while he lives in Alberta and flips him the bird every way possible.
Speaking of Alberta, I've
Mhm.
I've been following the train wreck that is Alberta.
No, those people, they're not the train wreck. It's the government in Quebec that keeps fucking them.
It's true. It's true.
Those guys, look,
They're getting the raw end of the
greater
deal.
the Greater Idaho Project, okay? Like I know all of y'all have heard that. Recruit Alberta, Canada, and you will take over half the country of Canada. Because if Alberta joins the United States as part of the Greater Idaho Project, Manitoba will follow, and the Northwest Territories will follow. Like basically all the territories where people have to roll up their sleeves and actually do work and get their fingernails dirty, they will join. And honestly, like what is it? What's that? Where Vancouver? Like Vancouver will fall because they're
Ottawa.
surrounded by people who have to earn a living. Look, everyone, like, I don't know if you know this, but the only problem in Canada is the French part because they're the ones in charge. Everywhere else, they're pretty much they know. Okay, the oil fields of Alberta and Manitoba, like they know. They're the ones who are footing the bill for the rest of that country.
Yeah.
And if they had just kicked some French ass out of, if they got rid of
The
what's his
Quebec,
name?
the Quebecois.
No, if they just got rid of Castro Jr., the love child
They
bastard,
did.
Quebec,
They did. They did.
permanently,
No, 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 no,
and
no.
those
They
who
got
follow his teachings, it would
they
right the
got rid
ship.
of him, and then they elected somebody 10 times worse. They
Yeah,
they, they
because
elected a corporate shill.
they didn't squish it. I thought you liked Bob G Webs. The only problem I had with Bob is he had a Ram, but I don't think it was a diesel.
No, the only problem I had with Bob was he would get on chats without a shirt on.
You
He'd
know
with
who I
his
miss?
camera on, drinking
You know
beer.
who I miss Darren. Darren Flath
Yes,
from
I
Zen
do miss
Channel.
Flath. Flath
That
man.
guy lost that guy lost his job. If I remember right, he was either Albertan or Manitoban. He was in the working part of Canada. And I tell you what, that guy, he turned lemons into lemonade because he bought himself a gooseneck and he started hot shotting heavy equipment and he made it happen. It's just I kind of wonder how he's been because I ain't heard from him in years, and I hope he's doing well because I know he rebuilt his house, and I know that he had some pretty heavy equipment, and I know he had more Cummins that I could jerk off to, and Mike would want to steal.
You shush.
He had all of them.
Anyways, problem. Yes, problem for Canada, not us. Anyways, on that note, I think we're gonna wrap this up. Sean, thank you for jumping on. I know we did not schedule this at all. This was all prompt too, but I appreciate you jumping in and helping me out with this.
No problem. I had fun. I had a good time.
And everyone out there, thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. And we'll probably be doing more of these. I don't know if I'll actually make a show again or if it's
Oh
just going to be
wait! We
whenever
gotta
we
tell
do.
him why we did it today.
Huh?
We gotta tell him why we did it today. Because Rick is a slacker.
No, Rick is not a slacker. He's just
He-
sick.
slacker.
Anyways,
I did the sick and half drunk slacker.
we will see
Take it
you
easy,
all
Rick.
later. Thank you for listening. This was the Wednesday night strike.
Shall not be friends.
How do I turn this damn thing off?
Find that button.
Bye, Felicia.